Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. This is a FIFA 17 wish list video. It's my wish list, so not everything on here is going to be what the entire community wants, what you may want, but it's what I think they should put into FIFA 17 to make it a better experience for the players and just make it a better overall game for the entire lifespan that it will have. Now quickly, I just want to say I know that I haven't been posting much FIFA content lately, and it's because I went on my little trip that took over a week. If you want to see some of it, it's on Extra Long Transaction. The videos weren't that great because it wasn't that amazing of a trip. But anyway, also FIFA is pretty much over, so it's not too much fun to start like a new series. It's kind of my thing to just play series on here. So wait until FIFA 17. I will hopefully have new series, some old returning favorites coming back, and it should be pretty exciting. But yeah, let's just jump right into this. And the first one, which I'm going to put down on my wish list, is a very strange one, which I think most of you won't think of, but I would like for every single player to have a buy now price, a minimum buy now price of 200. So what I'm saying is you can list any player for 200 coins buy now. Like even a Lionel Messi inform card, you could list that for 200 buy now. Now the reason I want this to happen is because I had a series on FIFA 15 called 200 and Below, where I would just buy players for 200 coins or 150 coins and use them for my squad. Now you may be thinking that I only ended up with a bunch of silvers and bronzes, but I actually ended up with pretty insane squads full with gold players because I would just bin snipe for 200 coins, see who would pop up. I ended up getting players like Gonzalo Higuain, 84 overall, Pjanic, I think, Nangolan, really solid players. Now the reason that EA got rid of that was because of the coin buying price ranges they wanted to make lower, so it would really hinder any coin buying, and I think it worked. Like, I don't think coin buying is as rampant as it was, and that's better for FIFA. But I don't think that having every player at 200, or even not every player, but say when I did it in FIFA 15, certain players, if they weren't too high, like if their max buy now was usually, if they would go for maybe 5,000, then you could list them at 200 coins. And I think that would just be fun for me because I would be able to do my series again. I don't know if they'll do it, they probably won't, but a man can hope, right? The next thing I'm going to talk about is when you try to pause the game and you don't have possession of the ball. Not only does it sometimes happen even if you do have possession of the ball, but if you don't have possession of the ball, I appreciate that they're telling you can't pause it because you don't have possession. But it doesn't need to be a giant black thing in the middle of the entire screen that lasts for 15 seconds.
That's what she said!
When the play is going on, you could just put it into the top right corner. It's such an easy fix. I don't know why they don't do that. And along those same lines, they could also make it so when the game is resumed, say you did pause it magically because you had possession of the ball, then once both parties have clicked the resume game button, there should be a 3, 2, 1, game will start now, because sometimes people will just, I don't know if they do it on purpose, maybe they do because they're mugs, they'll have the ball in the box and then they'll pause it and then they'll resume the match and you won't be ready for it. They'll do a fake shot, spin by you, just score. Happens too much to me, and they could just fix it by having game will resume in 3, 2, 1. Another thing that I think they should do, which would be a pretty simple fix, would just have the game latency be accurate, because I've had many times where it says my game latency was 3 green bars. I'm pretty sure they could just do numbers. That would probably be simpler than having green bars, but you could just do the green bars and the numbers, but sometimes the green bars aren't even accurate and it'll end up being a terrible lag fest. It's not fun to play. And this brings me to my next point. You should have mutual quit. I mean, if you have a lag fest where neither person wants to play, sometimes I'll be playing and then I'll have to keep pausing it because it's so bad. The other person will pause it and just think it's my internet, which sucks. Maybe it is. But you could just have a mutual quit button that says the other player has offered a mutual quit, do you accept? And you could say yes or no. It's so simple. I don't understand how it's that hard to have in the game. Now most of these things that I'm talking about don't have to do with the gameplay itself, because I was debating about this with myself, but I don't think that they are going for a very realistic game in FIFA, which may be good or maybe not good, because if you have a very realistic game, it's probably not going to be as addictive to play. Now, if you want, what they want is like a really fast-paced, energetic, high-scoring game. In real life, you never see 4 or 5 games like every other game, and that happens quite often in FIFA 16. And that's not just because of the gameplay itself, it's because of how we approach it with our defending. But so most of these topics don't have to do with the gameplay itself, but I will mention two quick things. I think slide tackling, as everyone thinks, slide tackling needs to be tamed down so much because it's ridiculous how you can just come in like a missile from 30 yards away, just sprint, slide tackle, even if you miss. Even if you miss the opponent when you're slide tackling, there are two options. You're going to come in, you're going to just stop on the floor, and then for some reason the guy will just dribble into you. Or the other option is he will jump over you and leave the ball, so you end up getting the ball if you tackle it, if you do a slide tackle anyway. It's very messed up. I think I've heard that PES has it figured out, which is nice. So EA, just follow what PES does, make it so you don't slide 50 feet when you do a slide tackle, and hopefully don't jump over the ball, don't jump over the player and leave the ball behind you. Another thing has to do with the passing. I think they will fix this hopefully, but the passing on FIFA 16 was not good in my opinion. It was too much influenced by the computer's play defensively. They would just steal the ball, intercept the ball at every opportunity. Now I do appreciate that they're trying to make it so the computer makes it so you have to think about your passing. You can't just go willy-nilly all over the place and just blast it like you're Iniesta or Xavi. But the computer should not be intercepting everything for you. This is a game where we play, not the computer. So if the computer is doing most of the work, it takes away from the fun, in my opinion. And I'd also like to see through ball passing fixed, because I don't know how you guys feel about it, but the through ball was just atrocious. I could never get a simple through ball because if I hit it, it would always either be intercepted or go too long, and the keeper would just come out and clear it like they're Neuer. I don't think I had more than 3 successful through balls onto goal the entire FIFA, and most of those actually happened with like bronze players because I don't really know what happened, but the pass power was so low that it ended up being a better through ball for me than if I had used a gold player like Xavi or Iniesta. But anyway, another thing is players should not run away from the defense when they're called for a foul. I don't know if you guys have really noticed this, but if you're ever on the break, and you know how you can do the quick free kick in this game. If you're on the break and you foul someone, and then they get up to do a quick free kick, your defender, which usually ends up being like a CDM or a center mid, someone really crucial to defending in FIFA, ends up running to the ref, who's trailing the play because it's on a counter-attack or something. And he runs away from his defending position to complain, and their guy is taking a quick free kick. Now, I think it's cool that you're trying to do something realistic where they complain to the ref, but I'd rather have my gameplay, my defending solid, rather than seeing some little animation. That's my opinion. Let me know what you think. Okay, some other things. These have to do with the drafts and the tournaments. Now, I don't know if you saw, but hopefully you did. They do have this new mode where they have a lot of squad building challenges, and then you get a reward from that, which I think is a great job by EA. It looks really exciting. But I don't think you can actually use the squads to play. And that's kind of a shame, because I think that it would be really fun to have challenges where you use poor squads, or like lower level squads, random hybrid squads, and you have to come up against other people using those squads. Because what happens sometimes is someone will come up with a really cool 3 hybrid, 7 nation random squad that's only a 65 overall, but then they'll end up having to play people with a full team of the year team, and then there's no real reason to keep doing that because you don't get any benefits from doing it except for like the value that you feel if you do win, or the value that you feel for making a squad like that. So if you ended up having to play against other people with similar squads, it would be more fun, and you'd have more of a reason to try new players, end up having players that are not highly valued, maybe they go up in value slightly. It would just make for a better experience for everyone involved. Now let's also talk about draft, and I think draft will hopefully be better implemented into this game. Draft was a good idea, but really you couldn't do much because everyone would just have the same team. It's a Liga BBVA, you end up having Ronaldo, Bale, Messi, Neymar, and Suarez maybe sometimes, but it's just the same teams over and over again. And it's not fun because you're playing against similar opponents every single time with similar squads. So what I think they could do, I think they really missed out on this because I didn't see any mention of it. They implement the squad building into the draft, and you get a reward if you do end up completing the squad builder. Say there's an optional objective. It would always be optional because you can't really force someone to build the draft when they put in their coins. You can't force them to build it how you want them to build it. They can do whatever they want. But it could be like you see story mode games where it says optional objective, and if you do the optional objectives, you get rewards. So it could be something like build this draft with 4 nations and 2 leagues, and then minimum 3-star requirement. And then if you do complete those tasks, you could get like an extra player, or you could get maybe an extra coin bonus or an extra pack or something like that. Because the thing is, they had like the draft on one hand. If you imagine you have the draft in the left hand, you have the squad building idea. They've already put it into the game. That's in the right hand. You just have to think about combining the two, and it creates for something that could really give a lot of enjoyment to the players. Now also with the draft and the draft rewards and the draft entry price, I think you either have to make the entry price a lot lower or you have to make the pack rewards a lot higher. Because what happens is people will end up entering the draft 15,000 coins, which is not a cheap amount. You can get a lot of really good players for 15,000 coins. Good players that you can use for more than just 4 games. But then, even if you do win the draft with your amazing team that you build, the players that you get from the rewards end up totaling maybe 6,000, 7,000 coins at the most. That's not even half of what you get back. A person like me who's never spent a dime on extra transactions in this game is not going to play the draft too much because it's just so expensive and the rewards are not worth it. So you have to either make the rewards better, make the packs better, make players worth more, or you can make the entry price lower. Now that's everything I could think of off the top of my head. I did have a list that I was writing, but it's probably not everything in the world. I know gameplay is hard to really fix because it has to do a lot with how the people are playing the game. So I tried to mainly focus on things that they could do pretty simply. If you think about, it's kind of messed up if you think about how every week they watch a countless number of games. They have countless number of people watching countless number of games, and then they decide which players get the inform rating, which ended up not even really making a difference because of Chemgate. But regardless, they would spend so many hours just to put these extra cards in because they knew that they would get money from it. I'd say FIFA is a pretty good game. It can make FIFA go from a pretty good game to an excellent game, in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think down below. What changes should they make in FIFA 17? What game mode should they add? What should they do to the gameplay? Anything you think they should change, let me know down below. Now quickly before I end this video, I just want to say thank you guys so much for all the support. FIFA 17 is coming out soon. I will have new series as I mentioned before, and it hopefully will be very exciting, an exciting time for me. Let me know what you think down below, and as always, don't forget to spay your pets.